I don't know how I want to set I don't know if I want to set it up like this or like this, where I could just like put myself in it and I could just like do that. I think it would be better if I set it up like this. So hold on a minute. Give me. I think that's no, that's good. Wait. I can't tell. Whatever. Anyways. No, that's good. Are you ready? I can't tell. Whatever. Anyways.
1 second. Okay, now I am.
Hold on. Say something one more time so I can like do this before I start recording.
Okay, now I am. Hold on. What comes up must come down. Yeah, my feet don't.
Alright, bro, that's enough.
I
I wish I could change the background, but I could just like do that later in the VOD. Alright, bro, that's enough. I wish I could. Nah, this is good. Alright, I'm gonna start recording. Ready?
Yes.
Alright. What's going on, everybody? JPLX24. Actually, no, let me do that again. Fuck! I usually say something random before I start this. Okay, did you know that it's really cold outside and that I almost got frostbite before doing this? What's going on, everybody? It is your main man, JPLX24, and today we are actually going to be doing something slightly different. You see, I've always wanted to do this thing where I just wanted to get better at, like, talking to people. So I thought, why don't I just take the time to sit down with some creators, you know, small creators like myself, and just, you know, get to talk to them one-on-one. And for my first guest, we actually have, you better turn that camera back up.
You better give me 1 second. I have to plug in my computer.
Oh my god. Anyways, you probably heard from the you know, the audio, but we actually have up first my boy SamAnimations. Sam, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well, Joshua, JPLX24.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I just
sir.
came back from work.
Nice, nice. All right, so, well, I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions here, if you don't mind. Just, you know, get a little, you know, from one small creator to another. I just wanted to take the time to sit down and talk to you. Is that okay?
No, by all means, yeah, that's fine.
All right, perfect. Now let's get. Well, first, before we actually start, why don't you just give people like a quick rundown of like who you are and what you do?
Well, okay, so my name's Samuel, but everybody calls me Sam. I'm an animation student who currently attends Montclair State University.
Damn, not the whole
My
college name
interest
dropped.
from, I mean, it's fine, but I got into animation long before I attended college for my major. I actually had the interest back in freshman year of high school. My bio teacher gave us this assignment called Genius Hour. Do you remember Genius Hour, Josh? Where
Genius.
like you had to learn something new?
I don't think I did. Maybe we had different professors that did that.
Probably. I think it was only specific to my class, but she required us to learn something new, and I already knew how to draw a little bit at this point. So I was just like, why don't I try and animate something?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did, and I learned that I loved it, and I was thinking, why don't I pursue it? And I made a YouTube channel way back in 2017, and 5 years later, I have 9,000 subscribers and 1 million channel views.
Clap it up, y'all. That's That is a beautiful milestone. Now, of course, I was gonna ask. Actually, the first question here was, how did you get into content creation? But you kind of just like you kind of went into it a little bit, but that's more on like the animation side. But when it comes to being an actual creator on YouTube, how did you get into that? Like, what's the come up of that?
Honestly, it kind of like I mentioned earlier, kind of ties into what I said earlier. But I got into it because I was just like, where am I gonna share my animations? Like, where am I gonna how am I gonna show this to people?
Hmm.
I don't remember if somebody had told me I should make a YouTube channel or it was already an idea that I had. No, it was an idea I already had in mind
Right.
because after I finished those animations, I showed it to the class and they all liked it. And I was just like, I need to put this in a place where it can stay forever.
Hmm.
So that's where I made my YouTube channel and that's where I typed out my bio and it's been like this since ooh, excuse me, I had something in my throat.
It's all good.
Since 2017, where my description says this is where all of my pivot animations will be uploaded.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't stick to pivot now. I use a lot of other different softwares, but at the time it was just pivot.
Y'all see this upgrade chat? Y'all see this? You always gotta see. You always gotta. Everybody starts somewhere. Now look at him. A whole animation major in college. All right, so my next question here is, just a general question is, what is the amount of time it takes to finish an animation? Because you've made, so many. I'm sure they've all taken like, hours upon hours of time. But if you were to have to give a general ballpark of how long they would take, what would you say that would be?
All right, so I feel like it depends on a couple of different factors,
Mm-hmm.
what software you're using, and the length of it. So I'm gonna give two different scenarios.
Okay.
In Pivot, Pivot is like uh almost like you're animating puppets. So you're just rigging a bunch of 2D objects. So that saves the drawing out your why am I losing my words here? Drawing out your character, so that gets
Right.
eliminated. Colors get eliminated because you don't need to color anything in. You
And
just
I
need to
talking about
pretty
Sonic.
much. Mm-hmm.
I had to. I had to.
Oh my gosh, that was good though. But yeah, colors you just need to change it with a really simple paint bucket tool. So a lot of that work is already taken out. So I would say to make like a 6 minute animation, if you have all the time in the world and you're not worrying about school or anything like that, I would say you could finish a 6 minute animation within 2 months tops.
2 months.
I would
My
say.
goodness.
I'm saying this like it's short, but yeah, 2 months is a
Yeah,
while.
2 months is a lot of work. My goodness. I mean, like, let's say you're just like someone who's like still in like school, like if you and you have nothing to do over the summer, it seems definitely possible. But my God, 2 months is a lot of time.
Yeah, but when we start getting into using software like Adobe Animate or Toon Boom, where you pretty much have to work everything from the ground up, you have to do like your rough animation and then you got to do your cleanup animation. Wait, no, actually I mixed some stuff up. You have to have your keyframes, then your rough animation, then your cleanup animation, and then your in betweens, and then you have to do color and compositing and all this other stuff. It's just layers upon layers upon layers. This is why animated movies and shows have a team. But if you're doing this solo, it
It's
could take for a 6 minute animation, honestly, depending on what you're doing, it could take up to a year. Or as little as it could be as little as like 2 months, or as much as a year, depending on how intense it is. Like if you have a lot of action, it's going to take so much longer. If
right,
it's a
right.
lot of dialogue back and forth, you can get that done very quickly because all you need to do really is just, animate the face and mouth and like, how I'm doing these gestures with my hands, you would just
Yes.
animate those too.
Okay.
And those don't take as long. A whole action scene, you're moving the entire body and that takes forever.
Right.
So I realized I gave you a pretty long-winded answer
No,
to
please
answer these
take
questions.
all the time you need. It is perfectly fine, brother. This is
Okay.
the time. This is the moment for you. We got no restrictions here. All right. Now,
So
just to. Oh, are
yeah.
you done?
No, just I was just gonna do like a really quick summary. So like a pivot animation, you're looking at 6 minutes. I would say about 2 months. If you're trying to do a full length animation and and animation software, everything needs to be drawn out, that's going to take significantly longer. I would say if we wanted to give an average, let's go with 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, just to sidetrack for a second, this isn't a question that I had on the actual thing, but I just wanted to ask you it anyway. So, now, Sam, you are a Sonic fan, yes?
Certainly am. Have been since I was 4 years old.
Okay, fantastic. Now, when it comes to solo animation projects, we kind of talked about this earlier, like when we were like texting each other, but I just wanted to bring it to attention here. Like, I'm sure you're well aware of Chakra X's Sonic versus Nazo. Nazo and Lee. You're aware of it, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to him canceling, him recently announcing that he canceled the project, were you at all shocked by this, or like disappointed? Like, let me know.
Oh, okay. So
Because I
I
bring this up. I'm sorry to cut you up, but I bring this up
no,
because
it's
you were
fine.
basically telling me how the process goes to like make a solo project and that it takes so long. And then my mind immediately went to like Chakra X's, animations that he's doing for the Sonic Nazo, like especially the sequel. So now I want your opinion on the fact that he's canceled it now.
Yeah, so I'm not all too surprised at that. I mean, the moment he mentioned that the production was going to go on hiatus, I was just like, "Oh, this might end up getting canceled." And
I didn't even know he said that.
considering
When did he say that?
it was a long time ago. I'm actually looking at his community tab right now and scrolling down just
Hmm.
to see when he mentioned it. But I think um give me a second. I think what, does it not say anything? Yes, the state of everything. But I feel like he mentioned that this thing was going on hiatus a long time back.
Maybe on his
But I
Twitter or something.
remember no, it was on YouTube. It was 2 years ago. So like
Hmm.
20 it was around 2020 or 2021. And then he ultimately said that the project is canceled, so on and so forth. And um in regards to how I felt about it, like I said, I wasn't that surprised, but I was bummed because I was very excited to see this. But
Disappointed,
at the
but not
time,
surprised.
yeah. But at the time I saw his trailer, I wasn't really an animator yet. I like just started. So when he said coming out in 2019, I really thought he could get it out in 2019.
Right.
Now me being I'm not a pro by any means in animation, but now me being more exposed to how the process works, I realized for the length that he was aiming for, because I remember he mentioned that his storyboards chalked up to about 44 minutes. That is very long, and he was a solo animator. So when I'm factoring all this in, not to say there was no way he would have finished in 2019. If he wasn't working in a studio, because he was also working in an animation studio, I think he actually worked on Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a little bit, and that show
Did
has
he?
stunning animation.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
you guys
clips of
should
it
really
on
look at
Twitter.
that. Mm-hmm. So like he was working on a lot of different animated projects, so his time for Nazo, for the Wrath of Nazo got less and less. And he has a wife and he has a dog, like all these different circumstances. I can understand that he wasn't able to fully animate the entire thing, which is why what he plans to do now is um have the whole thing upload onto YouTube as an animatic, and obviously the finished animation will be in it too. Um, but that's what he plans to do. And the reason why I'm not too upset at that, because he has a whole animatic now, other fans who want to finish the project can now go in and fill in the gaps by adding in their own animation, all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not surprised that it got canceled. I was sad,
Hmm.
but I completely understand it.
Right. And I've seen those kind of projects before where it's like, have you ever seen that one, the Sonic X reanimated, where like everyone takes like a snippet of a Sonic X episode and they like put their own animation style on it?
Yeah, I love those.
So it could very well happen with this Wrath of Nazo sequel. So I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely. And I mean, even I've canceled projects before. I've canceled two animation projects just because of um ooh, excuse me. But I canceled one. This was 5 years back. I canceled it because I had lost interest in it because I had an idea for something better, which was the Ultimate Pivot Tournament 2. And we all know how that video went on my YouTube channel. But for the ones who didn't, that video garnered 500,000 views over the last 4 years. So it's kind of insane.
It's impressive.
But the yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. The other project that I canceled was this one I do feel pretty bad for. This was during the pandemic year, but I was going to like do a fight scene animation for like one of my friend's songs at the time, but it
Right.
never came to fruition. So it was only half complete. There was supposed to be a whole second half that I just didn't do. So I uploaded the unfinished product on my channel, and yeah, those are the only two projects I canceled.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand, like, having to cancel your own projects because, I myself, I'm pretty sure you're aware, is that, I make my own videos, I have my own channel, and I've canceled a lot of projects in my days. I've been doing this for, God, how long has it been now? I started when I was, like, in 7th grade, so that was 2015, so I don't even know how long. It's 2023 right now, so I don't even want to, like, get into that. But, on to my next question here that I have listed is, when it comes to making content, do you see it more as a hobby or an actual career?
Um, More so as a hobby. I do like content creating. I love it a lot, but just because of the nature of my major, it's not something I could really make full time. I feel like for me, content creation will always be a side thing
A side hustle?
because, yeah, because animation projects take months upon months to complete. So a lot of my channel, like my YouTube channel right now, my feed typically consists of reaction videos, time lapses of my current projects, and life updates.
Right.
I do have animated content that I post, but they don't come as often because it takes a while. I have some finished animated projects actually, but I haven't given myself enough time to compile them into a YouTube video and upload it to my channel because there was some really good stuff. I animated some pretty cool stuff in my most recent class that I took last semester.
Okay.
But yeah, needless to say, just to go back to the main point of the question, I see content creating as more of a side hobby than a main thing.
Right.
But I think I could like make a decent amount of money off of it for sure.
You definitely can. At the rate you're going, you only have nowhere to go but up. You know what I'm saying? Now, in my next question, you kind of already like mentioned this when I was telling you to tell you about yourself, but who or what are your main inspirations for animating?
Ooh, I have so many.
Let's listen. Let's
Oh
listen to
man.
let's leave it to the top five. How about that?
All right, I'll try and limit it down to what sparked my interest the most
Right.
and not the animators that I look up to today.
Okay.
So what sparked the interest for me was anime
Okay. Of
and
course.
Chakra X and um what was the name of this user? It was a Newgrounds user way back when. Way back when. I gotta just search up this animation real quick so I don't forget the name.
Okay.
It was Sonic's Quest for Power. It was an old animation. You
Mm,
remember that, right?
mm. I
Yes,
remember that very
LGD
well.
Vegetto. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
LGD
that.
Vegetto. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yes, my biggest inspirations at the time when I was a 15-year-old boy. Um, Anime, a whole lot of anime. Now, if I were to specify which ones really piqued my interest, when I was 15 years old, this was around 2016. So My Hero just came out. That is crazy, actually. Oh my gosh. But yeah, My Hero just came out.
Were we
And
were we 15 in 2016?
about
No,
14 or 15 years
I think we
old.
were yeah. So I'm just like no, because in 2016
Yeah, do the math real quick.
no, we were 14 in we were we were 13 going 14 in 2016. 15 is when we is 2017. I remember that because for the people that don't know in the audience that
My
we're
hero did not.
for the people that don't know in the audience that we're both the same age, me and Sam here. We're actually like really good friends in IRL. But yeah, 2016 we were 14 because this 2016 was freshman year of high school, right?
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
so it was
absolutely right.
14, 13 going 14. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So I just need to look up real quick, like, when did the first episode of My Hero Academia come out?
I
Just so
could
I
not
get the
tell you.
math right. No, that's why I'm looking it up real quick. When did My Hero Academia season 1 come out? Because I remember I watched it in English. So I guess, wow, the dub came kind of late.
How long?
So yeah, no. 2018, but it aired in
Jesus.
Japan. It aired in Japan back in 2016. It's just that the dub was really late for the first few seasons.
Makes sense.
But yeah, needless to say, not to sidetrack myself too much, My Hero Academia was an interest of mine, but that did not come until 2018. By that point, I was 16 years old.
Right.
So, um, that show was an inspiration for sure. Some other notable shows that piqued my interest at that time was Naruto. Naruto was a big influence on me.
America's
Dragon Ball
favorito.
Kai.
That's what I like to call Naruto.
I would say it was Dragon Ball.
I don't really know because I feel like when it comes to Dragon Ball, like popular, I feel like it's most popular in like those Latin American countries. Like I feel like when it
Okay,
comes
no,
to
you're right.
America, it's definitely Naruto.
No, you're absolutely right. Latin countries, like, they sleep on Dragon Ball.
No, because Latin American countries, their worship for Dragon Ball is like America might be here, but Japan or not Japan, Latin American countries just were like way up there, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So
impressive.
yeah, needless to say, Dragon Ball Kai was a massive influence on my life, along with Sonic's Quest for Power and Nazo Unleashed.
Right.
Those were probably the three biggest factors to sparking up my interest in animation, without a doubt.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Now, my next question here is: what is the biggest struggle when it comes to content creation or animation in general?
Staying consistent,
Really, staying
easily.
consistent?
Yes, yeah.
How so?
Cause, bro, there are times where I don't want to make videos or animation.
I feel like that just comes with everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, just to elaborate on what I'm saying a little bit, this is more of a problem with YouTube than it is with school. I'm not with school, with animation, but animation can take a hit for me as well. So I'm going to start with like content creation on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, the only way really to have a successful platform on stuff like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, any of those platforms, you need to upload consistently or post consistently, but on top of that your content needs to be good. So I feel like in my category, i I don't upload consistently, but I can say, like, without being arrogant or anything like that, I can say that my content is decent enough that it should garner exposure,
Right.
but it's not uploaded often enough because of, it can come down to laziness, or I just don't have any artwork to show for myself. So I'm gonna be honest though, it kind of comes down to laziness more. So I'm really trying to, I have a 2023 goal to upload at least 2 videos per month, because I
Okay.
feel like that's not too bad. That's not too much.
And like these are just like standard videos, not even like whole animations, right?
Yeah, like the usual, like maybe I'm reacting to something or I'm showing a time lapse of my animation progress, just stuff like that.
Right.
Or, ooh, excuse me, I keep burping.
It's fine.
Or I would post some finished animations that I have in the archives of my computer. Now, for animation, the hardest thing about that really is also staying consistent, but the reason being is that sometimes I have bouts where I just completely lose interest and then I just stop working on my projects, and then all I'm doing for, let's say, like my free time in the summer is playing games, using my phone. Those are not inherently bad things. But if those things are taking over what is supposed to be the future of my career,
Yeah, that takes a hit.
Yeah, exactly. So
The math ain't
I'm just
mathin' on
trying
that one.
to, I know, right? So my goal also for this year is just to stay consistent. I don't want to do so much and then burn out and then I don't touch it for months. I just want to do a little bit day by day and just keep it up that way.
Okay, okay. I can definitely relate to that like that burnout setting because like for myself in 2020 or not 20 last year 2022 I was like I was pumping out content left and right because not only was I because I started like really pumping on my YouTube music videos, but I was also like uploading stream highlights. But this was also like during a time where I had like a lot of time because I was spending most of my time at home because of college and work. So I had just a lot of time at home to just like do whatever the hell I wanted. I was streaming. I started streaming. I was editing videos. I was making a lot of content. But nowadays, since my free time is lessening more and more, it's kind of hard to just like stay consistent. Like for example, I have this one video that I have that I'm working on right now, and I finished recording it like way back in October. And I'm still working on it. I'm trying to like push it out for this month. But, it's hard because sometimes I'll just be like, I'll work on it later. I don't really want to do this right now. Ah. So I definitely understand when it comes to stuff like that.
Really how it is, man.
But enough about me. Let's go on to our next question here. Oh, this one might be a fun one for you. Which animation are you most proud of?
The one that I'm currently working on.
Ah, nah, stick to what already exists. You can't blue ball us like that. You can't blue ball us like that.
Okay. So if I were to get if I were to focus on one that's already existed. Oh shoot, actually I have two. And the
Okay.
reason why I say two is because one was done in Pivot and one was done in Toon Boom.
Okay.
So it was on two different softwares. So my favorite Toon Boom animation was, I shouldn't say was, it still is. It was this dialogue scene that I had to do. It was for my final. We had to animate 15 seconds minimum of a dialogue between characters back and forth. And I worked my butt off on that. I remember I wasn't slacking. I was working on it every day. Um, and just trying to really work on the principles of animation, making the movement feel natural, along with having the characters speak to each other and make their um reactions also feel natural. The whole conversation had to feel natural. That was the whole point.
Right.
So it was really challenging for me to do it, and I was really proud of the work once I finished it.
Hmm.
I haven't uploaded that onto my YouTube channel yet, but I plan to compile it. Actually, it's already done, really. I can just upload it straight. So I might do that. That'll
Okay.
probably be my next video, so it'll be a short one. It's like 20 seconds.
All right, now you have SamAnimations' next video provided by JPLX24. It'll probably be uploaded by the time I, upload this on YouTube. But just let's just pretend, okay? Let's just pretend. For the people watching on Twitch, that they know.
It'll probably be up by tomorrow if I'm being realistic. But yeah, so that was my favorite Toon
Pivot.
Boom animation.
Oh,
Yeah, so my favorite pivot one, my favorite pivot animation is the Ultimate Pivot Tournament 3.
hence the name.
Uh yeah. So by this point, I am 3 tournaments in. I made the first one in October of 2017. The second one got uploaded in August of 2018, and this third one released in November of 2019. The reason why this one was my favorite is because I feel like by this point I got very comfortable with the formula of how I was animating these tournaments.
Right.
And at this point, my animation was at its peak. This is the best I've ever been at Pivot. I'm even better now, but at that time, that was the absolute peak of my animation skills, and I was very proud of what I was able to do. Um, I really didn't have some, like, there weren't glaring flaws, but some issues I had with my previous tournaments were that I would have certain scenes drag out for too long, or I would have pauses that were for too long. And my goal with the third tournament was really to keep things as streamlined as possible.
Right.
And I think I executed that well. Um I really liked it. It was super fun to make, and it shouldn't. If you guys ever want to see it, it doesn't take too long. It's about 8 minutes in length.
I don't know if I have time to watch an 8 minute video, but I definitely will. I'm
Ah,
just
you've
kidding.
seen it before.
I have, yes, I have. All right. Now, you may be most proud of those, but what was the longest one to make? That's the next question on this list. The longest one to make.
Oh, there's a. Ooh, sorry, my arm just touched the space heater. That burned. Well, the longest was the Ultimate Pivot Tournament 2, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, how long
And
did
there
that
was a
ended up
reason.
taking you? What's the reason?
8 months. There was a reason.
Okay.
Um, so I was working on this tournament. I was grinding it out. I remember I started production on it back in. I'm literally using my YouTube channel as a timeline so I can get the dates right.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart.
But yeah, around January of 2018, I released the teaser for it because I started the Ultimate Pivot Tournament 2 a couple of weeks before that. Pretty much at the start of the new year. And I was working on it. I was churning out fight after fight. I was making sure I was going to have this done by like April or May. That was the original release date. Um and what happened was around, what date was this? This was around late May of 2018.
Hmm.
My very, very potato computer at the time stopped working.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No, not the dead computer. Oh god.
Yeah. So this is what happened. I was about five and a no, 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 no. It was actually almost finished. I remember. I was about to finish the final fight before, like, the secret final fight that was supposed to happen.
Hmm.
And the only way for my computer to operate properly was to wipe everything off.
Oh
I
god.
wasn't I wasn't able to back it up or anything like that, from what I remember. I just had to wipe everything off. Here's the good thing though.
Which is?
I was able to I completely finished the first half of it up to the final fight, and all the sound effects and stuff were in, all the music was in, and I had that part saved on my Google Drive.
Okay.
The drawback was I had to reanimate the whole final fight, and my biggest regret, I don't want to say it was a regret, but it was really hard for me to animate that one because I was just like, what I had originally was so much better, and the final fight that I have uploaded on YouTube, though it was good and it was very good, it did not have the same intensity like the original one did. And for that, I'm sad because it's lost forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but stuff happens and you just gotta deal with it, unfortunately. Now,
Yeah, but you know what? Just a little bit more.
okay.
So at the end of the day, there was a long pause in the production where I was just super bummed and I didn't work on it. And then eventually I was just like, no, this has to finish. So I got back on it, redid the final fight, redid the secret final fight, had the video published in August 31st. And yeah, that video had the longest production cycle out of any other video I've made. And not oddly enough, coincidentally enough, it ended up being my highest viewed video on my channel.
You see,
So
look at that. All that all that production and mishaps. I guess they paid off in the end, didn't it?
yeah, it did.
All right. Now, my next question here is the most stressful. Would you say that's the most stressful, or do you have another story to tell us?
Yeah, that was the most stressful one.
Understand?
Easily,
Understandable.
easily.
No, because I'm hearing the story and I'm just like, I'm pretty sure we already have the question to the next one, but all right.
Because
Now,
the one I'm currently working on now isn't stressful per se, but it is I would say it's the hardest one I'm making. So it's not the most stressful, but it's the most difficult.
mm,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Hmm.
Now, for my next question, this is the second to last one I have right here. Is will you ever upload the typical story time animation or an other style videos in the future?
I've thought about it.
Or will you actually do it?
Maybe.
You heard it here first,
So
folks.
I say maybe because maybe that's something I'll do on the side, out of like outside of my actual like career, wherever I end up working, whether that's in 2D animation or motion graphics. Maybe as like on the side, I'll just churn out some cute little story time animations that don't take too long and just talk about experiences in my life. Here's the thing though, I'm not gonna lie. Not to say my life is boring, but it ain't crazy exciting. I feel like my videos about the stories of my life will be relatively mundane.
And
So
this is where the power of storytelling comes in. Script writing. You can just
fair point.
you could just tune them a little bit. No one,
I guess I could
no one will
just.
actually know if it's true or not. You could tune them just a little bit, just to make it more comedic or serious.
I mean, if they see this video, they'll be like, "Oh, his life isn't all that."
No, but how would they know? They're just left with that lingering thought in the back of their head. It's like, wait, is this? How much of this is real? How much of this is fake? I ain't gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. So
Touche.
I would say go for it. That's just me though. All right, now for my last question here, because this actually ended up taking longer than I should have. Maybe I should have turned down the questions, but it is what it is. Now, my final question here is: do you have any advice for anyone looking to get into animation?
Yeah, give me a second on this one.
Oh, please take your time.
Well, I guess the advice from an amateur animator like myself to anybody that's starting out, it's hard. um,
Just to straight up, it's hard. Quit
like
now. It's hard.
you
No, it's not worth it. Just leave. Run immediately.
no, but I'm just being real. Like it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But if you know for a fact that this is something that you enjoy doing and it is something that you want to pursue, you just need to make sure you can make yourself stand out. There are thousands upon thousands of many talented animators out here in this world. And in order for you to compete against people like that, you just got to put yourself out there on any social media platform you can. Um, make as many connections as you can. Because even if you're not necessarily the best animator, if you're a good animator, but you know somebody who's already in the field in some way, shape, or form, you have a higher chance of getting in because of them than somebody who's extremely talented but that has no connection. So one thing I've learned just from professors talking and alumni students who graduated and are working in the industry right now, they're saying connections are crucial because that's what's going to get you in. And of course, like always practice and improve your skill set. That's necessary. Because I'm not saying you can be a bad animator and you'll get in. You're not going to get in. Make sure your work is good, but make sure you have very, very strong connections because that's what's really going to take you far into the career. That's what I'm trying to do myself right now. I'm looking for internships for the
Right.
summer.
So
So yeah,
it's all about you know, it's kind of like that one SpongeBob episode where it's like, you know, I remember I talking to how did I go again? You know, I remember this one guy who knew this 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 guy's cousin that helped me get into animation. That's basically how it is, huh?
that's exactly how it is.
It's all about them connections, man. But that is all the questions I have for now. Sam, thank you very much for joining me on this small interview that I've wanted to do.
No problem, man.
If you want to just do a last second plug, just in case the people want to find out where you are, please do so.
Okay. And after I do that, I actually have a quick question to ask you.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I mean, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's SamAnimations with an exclamation point at the end. My art account on Instagram is Saminates with an underscore at the end. And those are the two main socials that I use. You can follow my TikTok, but that's really more of a personal account, so I really don't see the point. But if you are interested, that account is called summer.samuel, even though it's in the dead of winter right now.
Right.
So, the question I have to ask you is,
Yes.
who do you plan to interview next? I'm curious.
Oh, who do I plan to interview next? Honestly, there is one person I have in mind. I think the next person who I'm going to be interviewing is probably. I'm gonna see if I can get. I'm gonna see if I can get Jello Squid to be the next interviewer.
Oh, her art is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love the work that she does.
yeah. I messaged her about it a couple minutes ago, so we just gotta take the time to sit down and actually do it. But I think that is the end of this interview. Sam, thank you so much for joining me and helping me do this.
Of course.
All right. Now, with that being said, this is JPL signing out. I thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Now we can stop the recording. Whew, all right, Sam. Thank you. Thank you. It's
I don't know
over.
if it's synced up, but when you said wonderful day, I mouthed it out with a peace sign.
It probably didn't sync up, but hey,
Ah.
let's pretend that it did. All right. Now let's just stop the stream for now, and I'm going to set it up for some good old fashioned All Stars Transformed. So give me.
Before you do,
What's up?
let me show you doors.
Okay. All right, chat. I'll be right back. Give me like 5 minutes.
Are you telling your stream that or me?
I'm telling my stream that. All right, 1 second, chat.